Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Raven, and I am your host of episode 3 of Content Overload. I am here joined by my co-host.
Hey guys, it's me, Will. It looks like you pointed the wrong way
It
there.
did on your end, but on my...
But, yeah, it's me, your co-host. I'm back at it with Nick.
Yes.
Will, Nick and Will. Oh,
Nick and
it's
Will.
gonna be so fun.
Yes,
I'm just saying hey, but gonna toss it back up to you.
Cool. Thanks, man. I will take the mic.
Yeah. Well, I thought I was over here.
Stupid bit. You're right. You're right. You're
Yeah, here you go.
We all three of us have different layouts for the videos. I
That's
think,
true.
Because I got Raven to my left and Will beneath me.
You gotta love unfiltered podcasts.
I'm usually a bottom, like I am on my screen.
No, you're a power bottom. There's a difference. All right.
Yeah, that's why there's two
bottom.
of you on top of me on my screen.
Anyway,
what a great start to the episode. And you might be
Stellar
wondering, viewers, why is there a third person in here? And who is this third person? Well, I promised and I have delivered. We have a second guest for episode 3 of Content Overload. I am here joined by my good old pal Ouija. Ouija, say hello to the people.
how's it going, everybody? Hopefully, y'all are doing good.
Heck yeah. And if you don't know who Ouija is honestly a really good friend of mine. We met through Twitch. And you know what? I don't want to introduce you completely. I feel like you should share who you are. So Ouija, tell the people who you are. What do you do?
Sure. Well, I do all kinds of different streams on Twitch. For where I'm from, I'm based out of Canada, actually, of all places.
Canada.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Love the Canadian peeps.
I love your
Yeah,
shit.
I basically stream
Soap?
whatever I want to stream, really. No, syrup.
Oh,
He said
syrup. I thought you said
Syrup.
soap. I was like, soap?
They make pretty good soap too. I'm
Yeah,
just
fair.
saying.
I make great everything. Anyways, sorry.
All
Continue, Ouija. Who are you?
No worries.
Who are you?
Yeah, I basically stream whatever comes my way. Really, at this point. Currently in the middle of a Pikmin marathon. Just about done with that. We're on the last game.
Already? Jesus. Gamer, dude.
Those games don't take long. So far,
Take me
Pikmin
forever.
2 took the longest, only because that game is a lot harder than the other ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, streamer as well. I'm a streamer. You're a streamer. Will, you're a streamer adjacent whenever you decide to come back.
Yeah.
Never. I am never coming back. But Ouija, thank you so much for joining the third episode of Content Overload, my baby of a podcast. I've been wanting to get you on here since episode 1. Like when I was, kind of going over who I want on the podcast and kind of what we want to talk about. The one of the first people at the top of my list was Ouija, because guys, he's a gamer. All right. Like, of all the gamers that I know, this dude is a fucking gamer. And we're going to get into it a little later, because Ouija did something really cool last year, and maybe a little bit this year. I'm not too sure when you finished the series, but
it was around the end of
last year. So
Yeah.
he did something incredible. I mean, for me, no man should ever go through what he went through, except he's a great gamer. So he can, and he did. He conquered it. And I want to talk about that eventually. So, but Ouija, before we get into the shenanigans of your series from last year, I got to ask you, what was your favorite game of 2023?
Oh,
A lot of great shit came out.
That's a toss up, because I loved Tears of the Kingdom.
Great
I
game.
loved Pikmin 4. I loved Mario Wonder. You can tell I'm a big Nintendo guy.
Hey, I love it.
But also Baldur's Gate 3. Honestly,
Everyone's
insanely
Baldur's
good.
Gate 3 is everyone's favorite. Wow.
It better be.
Out of those 4, though, I personally would probably have to pick Pikmin 4. Even over Tears of the Kingdom. Like, Pikmin 4, I had so much fun playing, just because it's so easy to find different ways to maximize your progress throughout a day in Pikmin 4.
Okay, and Pikmin 4 is the one that your girlfriend Becca was playing, correct? That was
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
So I do have an understanding of what we're talking about. Cool, Pikmin 4, huh? I haven't heard much about it. All I know is with the original, like, what is it? What, like Pikmin and Pikmin 2, it was timed. Like you only had a certain amount of time to go through it.
So the first one, you had a 30 in-game day time limit because of the oxygen. Actually, oxygen in that game too, the characters is actually toxic. So,
Like,
well,
what's your
considering
life?
they're aliens from elsewhere. So
Nice. So a character is toxic. That is dope. I love that.
Anyway, but yeah, Pikmin 1 had a 30-day time limit.
Okay.
Pikmin 2 doesn't have a time limit. Pikmin 3, the time limit is based on the fruit that you gather. Because you gather fruit, you make juice, which lets you have more days. And then Pikmin 4 doesn't have a daytime limit either.
All right. Dude, that's awesome. I know that there is a huge community for Nintendo gamers. I just don't know many of them, but I know
Fair.
that you are a huge Nintendo dude, and it's cool because I think you were actually one of the reasons why I actually went back and played Breath of the Wild. Because
Yes,
I never played
remember
it.
you mentioning something
Yeah,
about that.
and I played it, and dude, it was awesome.
It's crazy.
It's a good game.
Tears of the Kingdom, I find, is more of the same,
Mhm.
but slightly better.
Okay.
Just that I want another Zelda game where you actually play through the story and not have the story told to you through side cutscenes.
You know, I've actually I've been watching a bunch of other content creators talk about Legends of Zelda, and I've been hearing a lot of the same. They kind of want to move away from the open world aspect.
But apparently Aonuma is leaning heavily into this being the new norm for Zelda, which, like, I'm fine with that, but like, give us a story to actually play through and not have us listen to the story.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah, it's been selling though. So I would like for a lot of you know, Legends of Zelda community members to play that game, because I know a lot of people have been saying the same thing, like what you want. But man, it's been selling, dude. It has been selling.
There's no question that it does. It's one of the better selling games on the Switch.
Yeah. It's because it's a good game.
It is. It
really
absolutely is. I just wish there was more to the actual story itself.
Fair.
Because, like, how they handled Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom is he's evil for the sake of evil. Which, that's not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that in other games, we've had him have actual motivation behind what he does.
Okay.
And not just, I want power because power.
Yeah.
Dude, I need to play these games. Will, have you played them before?
They should have opened it with somebody took his milkshake or something at least. Like,
he took my chicken. I gotta kill him. I'm taking over
you
the
know,
world.
The funny thing is, the game that looks the most childish out of all of them, that being Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker,
That's
actually
the first one
has
I
the
played.
deepest Ganondorf in terms of story.
Really?
Yeah,
Dude.
they actually give him his motivation for what he did in Ocarina of Time.
You know, I've been hearing that Wind Waker is actually hated among people. Is that true?
When it first came out, yes. When it first came out, it absolutely was, because everyone wanted a more realistic Zelda game because of a tech demo that they released in like 2002 or something. But Wind Waker itself is still an amazing Zelda game. Just at the time, no one wanted it because it wasn't a realistic Zelda game. That's why we got Twilight Princess.
Oh.
Which still for me is my personal favorite Zelda game.
Yeah, I think Wind Waker was actually the first Legends of Zelda anything that I ever played. And mind you, I was like, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years old when I got it. It was on the GameCube. So I remember booting it up for the first time. I played it it was a demo in the store, where I had to like break my neck just to play it.
Oh my god, yes! They
Yeah,
put it up. They put it up there. You're
put it on the
looking down. You
ceiling.
got your controller like
Yep.
this. Like, what the hell is this?
Yep, I broke my neck playing it in the store, and I was like, "Mom, I gotta get it." Why? I was like, "Because boats. That's why I can get
And
on
also,
a boat."
and now my neck doesn't have to hurt when I try to play
That's
it.
also very true. Maybe that was the reason why they did it. But I played it, and I, mind you, again, 5 or 6 years old. The reason why I stopped playing that game was Link and his little that little every action that he did.
All of the yeah.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
It drove
I can
me
understand
insane.
that.
It drove me insane. I was like, this guy won't shut up, Mom. He just yells all the time. Every time I attack, he yells. So it's true. I was 5. So I turned it off and I went back to playing Mario Super Sluggers, man.
Oh, that game was so fun.
Right? It was so good. I love that game.
Actually was Mario games and then Sonic Riders. I loved Sonic Riders.
Sonic Riders, okay.
Dude, I've never gotten to the Sonic games.
You had hoverboards. They were so fun to play around with. Yeah.
You ever see that Sonic Free Riders one? The one for the Kinect? That was really bad.
Nice. Anything Kinect is amazing. I think
I have a Dragon Ball Z Kinect game.
Oh my god.
It's so much fun.
That one's actually pretty good from what I remember.
I've yet to beat Kid Buu. He's so hard to beat. But
Kid Buu is always a pain in the ass in whatever game he's in.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. Well, dude, Pikmin 4 is a great pick for
Oh yeah.
It was nominated for a bunch of things at the Game Awards. So
it actually won, I think,
Family Game. Yep. Actually, I voted for that for
Mario
Family
Wonder.
Game.
Mario Wonder, I think, won multiplayer.
Yeah,
which is really funny.
Yeah, but it's a great multiplayer game. That's literally all I heard. People raved about how fun the multiplayer was for it.
Yeah, like the online aspect was different than I was expecting it to be because it functioned more like how in the Souls games you have like the phantoms that can invade you from online. It functioned more like that, but it's more helpful rather than invasive. Yeah, that's what they went with for the multiplayer. It's not what I thought it was going to be.
No, it's great. I've only played a little bit of it. I own it, but it's one of those it's still on my very long list of games. But I have to ask Veach. You know, you've been streaming for a long time. You're up to like however many thousand followers on Twitch now. What made you want to get into streaming?
I don't know, at the time it was more like I've been wanting to do content for years. But at the time, like taking the time to record and do the editing and all that to just do the YouTube side of things, it took a lot of time and required a lot of motivation that I just didn't have. So I decided instead turn to Twitch streaming because it seemed easier. So because that way you have people come in, watch and chat and all that jazz. And yeah, it just kind of went from there.
Yeah, I mean,
we know how lazy I am. I don't even have the motivation for that.
I think a lot of people that I've met that stream on Twitch or stream period, they've literally all said the same thing because I'm the same way. I had people in college tell me I should stream, so I did because I was too lazy to make videos on YouTube. I could record it. I didn't want to take the time to edit all the videos down because I did it in high school. I did a lot of short films in high school, and I knew how tedious editing is.
It's a process.
Yeah,
it is a process.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck that. I don't have time for that. I want to go out and party. I want to go and enjoy college and have a good time. And yeah, I mean, same here. It's interesting that was the one motivation. I was like, yeah, streaming for me. Just don't want to edit. Fair enough. The goal is to make a lot of money to where you can just hire an editor. And then bam.
I think that's a lot of people.
Yeah. Or what is it? I think Ray Narvaez Jr., he was from Rooster Teeth. many years
I know
ago.
the guy.
If I'm not mistaken, his now wife used to, or I think she still is. It's his editor.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
She edits all of his content. Yeah, free editing. There you go.
Also, he changed his name on Twitch recently to just Ray.
Is it really?
It's for real.
No way. Okay, I gotta check this. Viewers,
He's
I gotta
actually
check this
live
out.
right now.
He is playing. It's just Ray. I gotta. It's just Ray.
No one took it. So
Wasn't it originally his old Xbox
Right.
Gamertag Brown Man, right?
Yeah, and then he switched it to Ray Nervaez Jr. and now it's just Ray.
What a Chad. That's amazing. He's up there in popularity now to where he's just Ray.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
He is his own brand. He is that well known.
That's true. He's a great content creator. He's great.
Oh yeah.
And I really appreciate him as a content creator because he's also normal, like in terms of like how content creators think. Because I know there's a lot of content creators, like the bigger ones, they'll just play games and they'll call it a day. Even if if they hate the game, they'll still play it. But like, actually recently he streamed, he did one stream that was like 8 hours of Prey. Okay. And many people love Prey. I've never played it. But everyone in his chat was loving the stream. But he said, chat, this is 8 hours of agony. He hated it that much. And he said, I'm going to try to do my best. I'm going to watch the VOD and I'm going to try my best to find some cool clips. And the next day he posted on X. He posted that he went through he scrubbed the whole footage, found one clip, and he said, I am not torturing myself today. So he's like, I'm not playing Prey anymore. I was like, you know what? That is like huge respect because some people would just like suffer through the game. And this guy's just like, he has the viewership and he basically said, no, I'm not doing it for your pleasure. This is horrible. And I respect that because my dumbass would just suffer through.
Wow.
Yeah.
We can get into a game I stopped playing on stream in a little bit here.
Oh yeah, which is actually a great segue for the next thing I want to talk about is actually your are we asking this next? the viewers that are watching this, we have a Google Doc where it has like all of our notes and everything for the episode. So I went back to find the question and Will put, ooh, we're asking this question next. And I was like, what? Huh?
Yeah,
well,
I don't know.
Because you have it highlighted.
That's true.
Yeah, Ouija laughed earlier. I don't know if you noticed, but I saw that you highlighted the last question we were gonna ask, so I typed in next to it and was like, "Oh, are we deleting this?"
No. That's great.
So
I'm getting exposed.
So since then, I've just been writing in there little notes next to everything you highlight.
That's awesome.
I think Will expected like we were going from the top to and then just go down the list. I don't think he expected it to
when you
like jumping around.
I was just like, oh, he's about to delete.
Like, oh, well, I'm getting exposed. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to highlight myself like what question we're on and what we've done and stuff. But I wanted to ask you, Weej, it was like one of the big topics that I was like one of the big reasons why I wanted you on the podcast. It's Dark Souls. For those who don't know, who have never seen Weej's streams at all, he decided to go on a crusade of playing through not all, I don't think not all, but a good majority of all of the of any Souls games. And he did it. He did it. I thought he wasn't gonna do it because I watched him play Elden Ring when the game came out, and I understand why he stopped playing Elden Ring. But from a viewer's perspective, it was pretty damn funny. I will admit. It was pretty damn funny because I know how bad I am at the game. So to see someone else who's really good at them struggle, it was awesome because I was like, he's mortal. But he did it. He played through all of the Souls games, all of the big ones. So, Weege, I wanted to ask you, why? Just why would you subject yourself to that?
Why did I do that?
Yeah.
honestly, for a main reason, it was to, especially for the ones that I had on my PC through Steam, I wanted to run through the games again, but with some cosmetic mods.
Nice.
So like for Dark Souls Dark Souls Remastered, I had an armor set that made myself look like Twilight Princess Link, complete with sound effects.
Yeah.
I wanted to do one for Dark Souls 2, but for some reason it wasn't working. It was one that basically turned my character into Goku.
Nice.
Complete with all of the abilities and everything.
That's awesome. That's great.
For Dark Souls 3, there was a couple of different ones. One was very simple. It changed all of the weapons to have like lightsaber looks to them, complete with the sound effects, of course. And one very specific one changed a midpoint boss, Pontiff Sullivan, to look like Dio from JoJo.
I remember that. Yes, I remember that. I came in. Yeah, I came in right at that moment. I was like, "The fuck is this?" It was awesome. It was definitely something to watch.
Yeah, and then the last one I was able to mod, Sekiro, was I basically changed everything to look more like Metal Gear Rising. So like your the main character looks like Raiden, Genichiro now looks like Jetstream Sam. All of the music for the bosses is replaced with Metal Gear Rising boss themes, and it all fits really well.
Nice. It's just like a whole shit posting of a Souls marathon. I loved it.
It was so much fun. But
That's
for
awesome.
the other games like that I had on that I could only play through console, like Demon Souls and Bloodborne, obviously I couldn't do that. But those games I wanted to play through again anyway because they're so much fun for me anyway.
I will also add, once like I started doing Dark Souls when Dark Souls 1, 2, yeah, I hated it so much, but God, it was so addicting.
You
so
enjoyed
addicting.
the pain. I enjoyed the pain of me dying
I just
all
love
the
the
time.
game.
Well, there's just something about like overcoming what the game is throwing at you.
Yeah,
that's true.
There's just something so euphoric about it.
Yeah, I've only played through a little bit of DS1. I think the last boss that I ever fought and actually defeated was the bridge boss. I forget what it's
Taurus
called.
Demon.
Sure, it's like right at the very beginning.
Taurus Demon. Whenever you jump off, you climb up the thing, and jump down to him, and he's on the bridge.
Yeah.
That's Taurus Demon.
That was the one that I beat. That one. I actually did that one on my first try. Actually.
Nice.
Yeah, I did it. It was really funny.
A bit when I first played.
I wish I was streaming it because the way that I beat it was fucking hilarious. I saw it and I immediately turned around and ran the other way. And I saw a ladder and I climbed up the ladder because I was like, "Ha, you won't get me up here." And then I remembered, wait, the tutorial boss started like this.
Yeah, plunging attacks.
So I did that and I just spammed that.
You just do that over and over again. You kill him that way.
And I did it and I was like, let's go. I felt like a god. And then the dragon on that like main bridge, I was like, ah, shit, this is a dope ass bridge. I walked across the bridge, should have knew it was going to be a trap. And then a dragon came down. Alt F4, never touched it again.
Fair.
My first run-in with the Taurus Demon, I did the same exact thing. Like, I ran into him, turned around, went up the ladder. I don't remember what it is. It's some special mob, though, that will spawn in randomly sometimes. And it was at the top whenever I climbed up the ladder, and it just almost insta-killed me whenever I got up there.
That's awesome.
I think I know what it is you're talking about. They're like an online specific kind of mob, which is really weird, but I know what you're talking about.
Huh.
Yeah, I got demolished whenever I got up the ladder, and I was like, I did it again. I was like, oh, cool, he's not there again.
Thank God.
Yeah. Oh, I think, yeah, if you're in your human body, yeah, those things can spawn. So when you don't have your humanity restored, then they don't spawn.
Hmm. Yeah, I was in my human body.
Yeah, then do it.
Nice. So you did play not all, but a good majority of the Souls games. So I have to ask, which one was your favorite, and which one was your least favorite, and why?
Okay,
Loaded.
Let's start with favorite
Okay.
because that one's actually harder because there's 3 in particular that I'm drawn to all of the time, and that is Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, and Bloodborne.
Okay.
Bloodborne is mostly simply because it was the first one I actually played through and beat. And I had such a blast doing so. Sekiro, I really love how the game plays. I love the deflecting, and honestly, a lot of the bosses were very interactive with that. It's very, very one-on-one focused, which is probably my preferred playstyle. Dark Souls 3, the music, the atmosphere, the feeling that the actors portrayed, like the voice actors for all of the different characters, portraying desperation and just how desolate the world is, really drew me in. Plus, Dark Souls 3 plays so well. As for least favorite, Dark Souls 2.
I knew it. I literally, as I was typing out this question, guys, I swear to God, I typed it out and I said, I already know the answer to this. I have a feeling I know the answer. It's everyone's answer. And I remember when I asked you in your chat, so far, which one has been your least favorite? And not even 2 seconds after you read it, you said Dark Souls 2. He's like, this one? Fucking shit. I hate it.
I played through 1 and 2. I didn't play through all of 3, but I will say I definitely hated the layout of 2 comparative to both of the other ones.
The biggest problems I have with Dark Souls 2 comes down to too many bosses that shouldn't have been bosses. Prowling Magus and Congregation comes to mind. It's just
out.
So you walk in to like this chapel room, and it's just like a random group of enemies. Like, all right, whatever. And then the boss health bar pops up. I'm like, what? This is a boss fight?
What?
The fuck you mean this is a boss fight?
I love your reactions is completely different. I'd be like this, haha, yes, and then I see the bar, I go, no.
I didn't like the chapel areas.
No,
there were a lot of things in those.
The level design, a lot of it made 0 sense. The world progression made 0 sense. Like, how the hell do you get from Earthen Peak to the Iron Keep by an elevator that goes to nothing?
Well, it was weird because like it all basically spidered out from one moment. So like you'd go in, you'd go to the left, you'd finish that whole area, come back to the same area, go to the next spot, and then come back, go to the next spot. And it was weird.
Yeah. I definitely preferred, don't get me wrong, Dark Souls 3 is linear, but that at least the theming of each area makes sense and the connections all make sense too.
Yeah. I've never played it, but I can understand why that would be a huge thing for a lot of people.
And the biggest problem I have with Dark Souls 2 is how it handles the dodging iframes. So in Dark Souls 2, there's a stat called adaptability, which changes how many frames you get when you do a dodge roll.
Okay.
You have to sink an annoyingly large amount of levels into that stat for you to have decent iframes.
That is so weird. I mean, I've heard a lot of people complain about Dark Souls 2. I've never heard that one before. That's crazy.
That is the biggest problem I have.
So it intentionally fucks with your frame rate?
Yes. Well, your invincibility frames anyway.
Not your frame rate. How long you're invincible whenever you dodge.
Yeah.
Oh.
So like the more points you put into it, you get more time on it. But if not, you have to get that perfect
roll.
That perfect roll every single time. Like it doesn't even let you finish the roll before you
get hit.
Invincible. Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
Like,
that
you'll
sounds
be halfway.
miserable.
You'll be halfway into standing back up from a roll, and you'll be vulnerable to an attack.
Yeah.
Dang.
Whereas
so
in like Dark Souls 1, you're invulnerable for the entire animation until you stand up. And same thing with 3.
which makes me another reason why I never want to touch them. That's crazy. I would cry.
I'd say play them. Don't just skip 2. Skip Dark
2.
Souls 2.
Could I come back to it though? Because I feel like, is it from a completionist standpoint of where I
Sure,
want to play
yeah.
all of them?
Like for all the shit that people give Dark Souls 2, it's still worth playing just to say you've played it.
Fair. So what you're saying is, at the end of the day, if FromSoft ever remasters anything, they have to remaster Dark Souls 2 before porting Bloodborne to PC.
It'd be great if they did that.
I think
I like the remaster of 1.
I feel like
you're down for it.
If they were to remaster Dark Souls 2 and fix a lot of the problems that were in the game to begin with, I feel like it could be much better.
Dang. I'm
feel like
interested to see what people that are viewing this say, because I feel like a lot of people would rather want a Bloodborne port before a remaster of DS2.
I would much prefer getting Bloodborne ported to PCs, so that way we could like
get your mods,
have it in its best, have it in it, but also have it in like its best possible format. But like at the same time, I want to see them bring Dark Souls 2 to a better state that could actually have a good time.
I like the way they remaster their games. It's not necessarily the way other people remaster their games to redo the story or anything. They're literally just redoing the entire
not like the Resident
polishing
Evil
the game when they remaster it.
My problem with like the Demon's Souls remake is they kept the AI from the original, which meant that everything was really stupid.
Nice. I need to play these. I need to play these. I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of cool gamer moments, because a lot of people reference Dark Souls a lot.
Mortal Shell was rough for me.
I got to do it. I feel like
I played a few minutes of Mortal Shell and I dropped it.
Do you guys know Moosepaw by any chance?
Yeah,
Moosepaw played through Mortal Shell, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, he played through that one. He played it. He said he actually really enjoyed it.
Me and my friend played it together. I started the beginning of it, was like, I hate this game, and then he played through the rest of it up to the last 3 final bosses. Couldn't beat them, so I just beat the 3 final bosses and was like, yeah, we'll call this a complete.
For both of us.
Call it good, right?
Yeah. I've been told that if I really want to get into a Souls game, like, it's a hard game, but compared to the Dark Souls and Elden Ring and stuff, it's baby. It's like a Fisher Price version of the Souls game. I've been playing Lords of the Fallen.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't touched it in a while. So I defeated the tutorial boss and everything, and I'm finally at the first world boss, and it's not great, but the multiplayer is pretty decent. So I was running through it with a friend, and and mind you, she's proficient at Souls games, and I'm not. I actually was doing pretty good. Like, I actually learned the patterns rather quickly. And I was like, if we could do it maybe a couple more runs, I think we can get it. And obviously she had to go to bed, so we stopped. But if I go back in, I'm going to kill that thing. I'm going to do it.
Another one
pretty good
came out very recently, like literally tail end of last year, that I thoroughly love. Lies of P.
Ooh,
I played the demo of it. I loved the demo of it.
The demo's great.
I haven't played the actual game of it, though.
I streamed my first playthrough of it, and I'm currently working on my next playthrough of it right now on the off time.
Yeah,
it's such a fun game.
It's good. It looks great.
The last one I played through was Code Vein, and
Ooh, that one's really good.
it was long, and a couple things I would prefer differently, but I loved the story and the way they had everything work out. It was
I
one of my
love how
favorite
they
ones.
I love the way they did the character stories too. I love those little memory areas. Those were so cool.
Oh yes, and yeah, it was awesome. Unless you wanted to rush through it all, but I loved getting to listen to all the fragments and learn
Yes.
more in the game, but also learn more about the people while getting the skills.
Also, who did you run through the most of the game with then? As an AI companion.
I got a DLC of I forget what her name is. It was the girl with the gun. I think May. She had the
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
yeah. She
But
had a
for me,
black
I ran
hat
through
and
with.
green hair.
Oh yes, yes, I know the one.
Yeah.
For me, I ran through the game with EO.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I really
She's
liked
got a
whenever you
fun
got
weapon.
towards the end and you were running into the other. I forget what they're
Oh,
called.
all of the other.
Yeah, all the other cathedral
Not are
ones
they
that were.
the attendants? I think.
Yeah, the attendants. I think so.
Yeah.
They were really
And then like one
interesting.
of them
I
was for
like,
some reason a boss fight.
Yeah. I
I
was
got
so
it.
confused when
Another
I first
boss.
ran into one. I really thought it was EO, and I was so confused. I was like,
No,
"What's wrong?"
that's not EO. EO's been with you the entire time.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, it's
I have
really
got to
cool.
play them.
Really good game.
There's a lot of great games that came out, especially Souls games that came out last year.
Oh yeah.
But we are looking ahead now. We're no longer in 2023. It's 2024. So I gotta ask. I mentioned it to Will when he was in episode 1, our first guest.
Mm-hmm.
What is your most anticipated game of 2024? Not a lot to pick from this year, but still enough.
Palworld is already in early access. I won't until we get like a set release date for version 1. I'm not gonna sit on that. I'm not gonna pick that one. I love it. I love the game. Don't get me wrong.
It's great. It's a really
I
good
can't
one.
wait to see. I can't wait to see what Pocket Pair does with it in the future. But 2024. Right now, I honestly don't know. Like I know Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes out in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think it comes
but
out next week. I think
yeah,
it comes out next week. That's mine.
I'm looking forward to that. I wouldn't call that my most anticipated game though. I don't know. I actually don't know. I also haven't really been looking at a lot of game releases lately. So
yeah, 2024. It's crazy. I was when Will and I were talking about it in a little bit of episode, mainly episode 1 actually. It's crazy how we had so many games come out last year to the point where I honestly feel that they spoiled us.
yeah, we got a lot.
Yeah, and it's like how is the industry going to keep up with that? Because a lot of beautiful, amazing games came out last year. We're not going to have nearly as many.
Rebirth is the 29th.
So that's 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah. I feel like
next week.
I feel like so far this year though they're hitting us left and right.
Yeah,
with
Helldivers 2
were in development. Helldivers 2,
fucking
Suicide Squad,
Lethal Company.
Palworld.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Lethal Company. But that was
I can't. A fact
Christmas,
that I learned about Lethal Company not long ago. It's still hilarious to me. It outsold Modern Warfare 3.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Lethal Company was October 23rd, 2023.
Yeah, it did drop last year, but it's still going strong.
Yeah, it's still really going strong.
And the dev is he's slowing down a bit on content releases only because the content releases he wants to release are going to be way bigger than what he's been doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I'm looking at games that are coming out this year. Princess Peach Showtime looks really good.
Yeah, that one
Black Myth Wukong actually is I'm looking forward to Black Myth Wukong. It's so from those that aren't familiar with it, it's Journey to the West, but Dark Souls styled.
Oh, this one. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
them announcing this at the Game Awards.
Yeah, because
Okay.
because that's when we finally got like a release date trailer for it. Was at the Game Awards.
Yeah, this one looked dope. It's a
So
Souls,
I
so
would
I'll probably
say-
pass, but it looked sick.
So right now, I would say my most anticipated are kind of tossed up between Black Myth Wukong and I'm gonna say it, Princess Peach Showtime.
Hey, there's a lot of cool Mario games
Oh yeah,
coming out this
Well,
year
Mario-
as well.
Mario Wonder that just came out last year was so much fun.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for Super Slugger. That's just, I'll never get it. I'll never fucking get it. But I want it.
I've stopped getting the recent sports games because they keep doing the release the game now, add more content later thing,
Mhm.
and I'm not a big fan of that.
I really like the what was the soccer one?
Strikers.
Yes, I personally enjoyed Strikers. Mario Tennis was trash. Fucking hated Mario.
Tennis Aces was not good.
Yeah, no, I haven't tried the golf one yet.
It's okay.
Decent.
Star
I've
Rush
seen it look decent.
Golf Star Rush is okay.
Yeah, but Sluggers, man. If they do that game dirty, I'm gonna cry. Another one that they need to do, and Nintendo, obviously, I know you're watching this because it's content overload. This is like the world's #1 least watched podcast. I mean, most watched podcast. Nintendo, get off your ass and make Mario Hoops 3-on-3, please.
My
Please.
God, I haven't heard that name in so long.
I need Mario Hoops 3-on-3. I played the shit out of that on my DS, and it was amazing. I need one on the Switch.
Going back to Pal World for a sec, this kind of ties into Nintendo getting off. This is more so Game Freak getting off their asses. The success of Pal World, I really hope, forces Game Freak to make their next few Pokemon games actually good.
Yeah, I agree. I mentioned this with Will the last episode about how it's really, Nintendo's probably gonna find every single way to fucking sue them and yada yada yada. But
I hope it pushes them better.
Yeah, exactly. I hope it just makes them actually make a decent game.
Yeah, not repeat their
That's my hope.
Be nice.
Because like the last good game of theirs that came out was Legends Arceus. That game was amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Scarlet and Violet. It needed at least another year. Minimum another year.
Yeah. Their most recent stuff has been kind of a letdown. Like I enjoyed Arceus for a while, but I don't know, I fell off of it. I just kind of got burnt out on it, and it's I just
have
I want them to be good.
Have you guys seen the recent post from a Reddit user
that
made a post? I forget what he posted it on, but it was something for merchandise with Sparkit energy drink. And Nintendo pushed a DMCA on the Sparkit energy drink.
Really?
Yeah.
Sparkit?
Which I did not know.
Sparkit's a Pal World thing.
Yeah, I know. But apparently they were he had to remove it. They pushed a DMCA on him.
No, I had not heard that. That's interesting.
Yeah. I could probably find it for you really quick, Raven, if you want me to.
Sure. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, regardless, I think 2024 is still going to be a pretty cool year for gaming. I think, I don't know, I feel like a lot of the games that are coming out this year are very niche. Like, we're going to get a lot of more of the niche genres rather than just like huge major AAA titles. Because like I know I read that Sony PlayStation is not going to be releasing any big AAA titles from their stuff.
Other than Final Fantasy Rebirth, Sony's got nothing this year.
Yeah, they got nothing. And that's fine. That's okay. I know that there's some Sony fanboys that are so pissed off about that. dude, it is fucking fine. There's so many games that came out last year. Go play them. And if not, go play like Power World. Go play Helldivers 2 because, dude, Helldivers 2 looks sick. That game looks
I have
awesome.
not gotten that one. I've heard it's really good though.
We gotta play it, man. If you get Helldivers 2, let me know because we are going to spread democracy to the entire universe. Okay, we're gonna spread democracy.
Sounds good.
And destroy a bunch of bugs.
Fair
Game
enough.
looks insane. And the voice acting, dude, is so good. Oh, did you send it to me? Oh,
Yeah, I sent you
I'll look
guys
it on,
the
Me too,
on my
yeah.
phone. I can't pull it up on Discord because then our recording's gonna get washed. But I'll look it up.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to do that. That would
So-
be bad.
Oh,
I
interesting.
bet eventually you're gonna turn to Zoom. Honestly, I have a feeling it's gonna have to happen.
To
It'll be more
Zoom,
comfortable.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. It's something.
Interesting. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, that's wild. That is really wild.
That is wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor Sparkgate.
Where's Sparkit? RP.
We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
RP.
The Big N owns them now.
They're coming-
Apparently.
He's
they're
their
coming for
slave.
Jesus.
Jeez, Power
Not
World bringing
mine
out the best of people.
I'm actually one of those people
Yikes,
that
yeah.
don't actively go out of their way to catch the human people in the game.
Yeah, I
I
heard you can
do.
do that.
I love not having to go anywhere to trade with them. I just toss them out in my base and
Oh,
I'm
the
like,
mer-
"Give me."
Yeah,
Yeah, the merchants.
I
I
can
also
understand for the
went on
merchant, but like, it's not that hard to just warp to the settlements.
Yeah. Well, I also did a run where I started off with the level 3 lady at the very beginning, and then I went to the level 5 skilled islander. I just kept every
Oh,
level
yeah.
you went up, I kept catching each one. Yeah.
You know, it
Jeez.
reminds me of in 2019. I remember one of the big things on YouTube was PewDiePie running through Minecraft. And
Oh, yeah.
what you just described with like capturing all the villagers and all that stuff, it just reminded me of PewDiePie spending like multiple episodes slowly but surely getting villagers from next door, like next to his huge land or property or whatever, and just slowly rowing across grass trying to get them into that little
such
bunker.
a slow process.
I know, but it was hilarious. It's probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen on the internet. And he's just like, "You're going to be mine forever." And then he finally gets it all set up, and it's literally just like Azkaban of villagers, just
Aw.
great. I love it. I love it so much. But I know we talked about this a little bit before we started recording, and I was like, "Whoa, we got to hold on because this is actually a really good topic." I wanted to talk about this because I thought about this the other day because someone asked me where did my gamer tag or my Twitch name come from. So I kind of want to go around the table here and I'll finish last. So let's just say Will, you can start it. Where did WillWill 137 come from?
All right. Well, first, I also want to add, I find it really interesting that we all have 3 numbers after our name.
It's true.
That was the meta
and
back
I
in
also-
like
I-
the early 2010s.
I
It's either
also
the
find
numbers
it
or the
really
XX.
interesting that yours is 937 and
Mhm.
mine is 137. Isn't that crazy?
My numbers
well-
have
I
a
never
specific
noticed that.
story.
That's actually pretty good.
So
Mine do not have a specific. Well, they kind of do, but like it isn't a meaningful story. I
Hmm.
literally came up with my name whenever I was playing on, I think, Xbox 360 because that was the first time I played anything
of
online.
course.
I was like, all right, Will, okay, cool. My name's Will, so I just did it twice. I was like, okay, that works. And then numbers, I was like 1, 3, 5, set like the pattern of 2s from 1. So 1,
Oh,
3,
yeah.
5, 7, 9. Cut out the 5. That's it.
Nice.
So 1, 3, 7. I was,
And it flows,
I was
man.
like, changed the pattern just a little bit and cut out that 5, and there we go. Now it's WillWill 137. I've had that since I was probably 6.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it flows too. Like even playing Valorant with you, Will, it's like it is like morphed into so many different names. Like people are like, "Yo, Will," or Willy, or I've heard Willy Wonka. I've heard
Yeah,
a ton.
It's interesting.
It's evolved.
Something that I can specifically tell between most of my friends. A majority, I have some online friends that'll say it differently, some IRL friends that'll say it differently, but the big main majority, because my name's Willie, but like I'm fine with Will. I go by Will or WillWill online, and I'm welcome to people knowing my name. It doesn't matter to me. But everybody IRL calls me Willie. Everybody I've met online calls me Will. There's a select tiny few IRL that call me Will, and a select tiny few online that call me Willie. But it's really interesting to see that.
It ever
Makes sense.
evolves. It continues to grow. The saga of
Yes.
WillWill
So
137.
yeah, so if you're ever in a call with me and somebody else and you hear them say Willie, they're probably somebody I know IRL. Or if they
IRL.
say Will, it's somebody else I met online. Yeah,
Nice.
it's pretty
I love it.
interesting.
It's a great name. I love it. It's really catchy. It
It
flows
works.
really well. So Weege, where did yours come from?
Oh boy. Okay.
The origin story. The origin arc.
So this was like grade 8 when I got obsessed with, like, I'm sure you guys are familiar with it, YouTube poops back in the old YouTube days.
Oops. I'm unfamiliar.
it's-
I'm gonna look it up now.
You should look into a few of them.
Subscribing.
There's some classic ones out there. But there's a few, like, where mine specifically comes from was actually the PC port of a game called Mario is Missing. It was like, it's an officially licensed edutainment game with like this bizarre sprites of Luigi, and because you play as Luigi throughout that game, because Mario is the one you're trying to get to.
Mm-hmm.
The specific sprite for Luigi in that game made it look like he was constantly giving people a death stare. And a lot of people leaned into that, and rather than just being Luigi, everyone just called it Ouija. So I was so that's where I got obsessed with all that. And as for the 666 part, that was just me being edgy kid, you know.
Nice. I knew it. I was like, I bet you money. I was like, it's because he was an edgelord. I love it.
I wouldn't say I was an edgelord. I was one of those who tried to be edgy.
Okay. Okay. Hey, it's
one of those kind of things, you know.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
I've been running. Yeah,
I'm looking up your name, and literally the first one that popped up, obviously the first one 8 months ago, Joe Biden exists. And his face is just the second one below that is YouTube poop. The sky had a Ouija, and it's like
that's a good one. That's a classic
that's
one
the second one. That's the second one that popped up, and then the next one is carbs.
You see the sprite for that, right? You see what he looks like
there? Yeah, and he's just staring at Scooter. That's funny.
Yep. That's the one.
That explains
the one.
So much. I'm gonna have to watch the origin to this later. I will save it to my watch later, because man, right. I gotta know the entire arc of Ouija.
Just watch it now.
Watch it live. Hey, I just get marked. YouTube's just like, what did you do? You stealing content? You can't do that. You're not allowed.
Like 20 years ago.
As long as we're reacting to it, it should be fine.
It should. I love the sarcasm behind it. It should be fine.
Reaction channels, though. Good lord.
Yeah, man, that was a huge.
This is a reaction podcast, guys. Get bamboozled.
Lock in. We're gonna start reacting to content now.
But yeah, that's the gist of where my name comes from.
That's great. Mine is long.
Most people nowadays call me either Weege or Jeff. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, you know, I mine at first with you, I was like, oh yeah, it's Ouija, and then I think because we became more friends and we just got more comfortable, it just slowly went from Ouija, Weege.
Yeah,
like, yo, what up, Weege?
You get the shorthand going, and it just kind of works out. Yeah.
We
drop the G completely, just we.
Whenever Will goes into your chat now, what up, we? How you doing, man?
I
How
can
you
see
doing?
it. I can see it.
That'd be great. I don't think I've ever seen that in your chat. Well,
It's not very common.
You got to do it, Will. You have to do it now. It'll throw him. He'll be like, "Oh my, this motherfucker, this guy, dude."
Hey, we.
Hey, we. No, you got to say it when he's playing like another Souls game. You got to say it. What up, we? As he falls to his death. What up, we?
Oh my god.
Oh man.
There's
That's
some
great.
funny. I had some funny when I first played through Dark Souls 2 like a couple years ago on stream. Like I actually did play. I have fully streamed Dark Souls 2 on stream. I had at one point during the Iron Keep an enemy like run towards me, run diagonal, and then just run off the bridge.
Nice, dude. That's
I still have
awesome.
a clip of it up on my channel.
Oh, I'll have to watch it. You have a lot of really good, funny Souls clips. I gotta watch them.
There's some classics on there.
Yeah, and viewers, if you're wondering, how to watch him, don't worry. I'll link all of his stuff below in the description, so you don't have to worry about any of that. You can go check him out. But for me, with
your
my
name.
gamer tag, yeah, mine is weird. Its conception was very normal for the time, but where it is now, the Rad Raven, that part is a little stupid, but it's also funny and it makes sense. If you know me personally, you're like, yeah, that makes sense, dumbass. But so originally it was Raven 937, so just Raven. And where it came from was the Xbox 360 days. I got a 360 for Christmas, and my uncle was the only gamer in our family, and he was like, "All right, well, you're gonna have to get a cool gamer tag, because if you don't have a cool gamer tag, everyone's gonna just yell at you." And I was like, "Well, I don't want anyone to yell at me." I was in 5th grade. I was like, "I don't want anyone to yell at me online, so I gotta have a cool name." And he was like, "Think about it." It's like, okay, I guess. So I couldn't think of anything. Like I was to the point where I was just gonna pick one of the ones that they recommended. And I mentioned that to him. He's like, "No, you can't do that. Everyone's gonna make fun of you even more." I was like, "Jeez, what is this like bullying
It's
online?"
not like to be fair, it's not like they know you picked one of the recommended names. They're probably random for everybody.
That's true. So he asked me, he was like, "Okay, well, we need to do one now because this is the only day I can help you set this thing up." So he was like, "What is your favorite movie?" And I was like, "Well, at the time, my favorite movie was a movie called Pearl Harbor." And yeah.
It's a little specific, but
Yeah,
Wait,
that
you were
was
talking about the movie or the historical event?
no, the movie,
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
the movie. And he was like, "Okay, cool. What was your favorite character from the movie?" And I was like, "I guess Ben Affleck's character, which was Rave." And he was like, "Rave, okay, what can I do with that?" And I was like thinking, I was like, "Fuck, what do I do with Rave? I can't really put that in there." So I was like, "Well, I like flying. I like flying games. Ravens fly. I think I'll be Raven." And he was like, "Cool, Raven it is." So he typed it in, and Xbox didn't like that. It was already taken. So he's like, "Okay, well, what? You need to put something else in there." I was like, "Can we put numbers or something?" He's like, "Yeah, you can put numbers." So I thought of some cool numbers to think of. And this is the cool part. There's not many people know this part. So before I switched over to the 360, I was originally playing the PS2. And I played the Sly Cooper, the third Sly Cooper game.
Ooh, okay.
And if you've ever played it, the very first save combination that Sly Cooper opens, the combination is 937. Yeah. And
I see
so
now, I see.
yeah, I played that game constantly before I switched over to the 360, and that was the first number that popped in my head because I love Sly Cooper. And so I was like, Raven 937. There you go. And Xbox approved it. They were like, approved. And so I got sent on my way into the realm of the 360, the Wild West it was. And then
that was
good times.
The days.
Those were the really good days. Many people would be canceled in our world today.
Oh
man,
yeah,
you
that and the PS3.
Yeah, if you grew up during that era, nothing will hurt you ever. Anyone could say anything to you, and you're like, okay, and
It was the
Great.
Wild West. That's for damn sure.
It really was. It was awesome. And then for me, my name now, Rad Raven, it evolved into the Rad part. It was my junior year of college. I finally left community college. I went to a 4-year university, and my roommates and I, we were all kind of drunk. We were drunk. We watched Avatar, The Last Airbender, because as many college students would do, we were watching Avatar, The Last Airbender.
It's a good series.
Yeah, we were all drunk watching it. Yeah, we were yelling cabbages. We had our RA come in because he was like, "You got to stop yelling cabbages."
Like
yeah,
cabbages.
like cabbages, and that's why we were just yelling cabbages in our apartment. And he was like, "You guys got to chill. Like we get it. It's funny, but
That cabbage guy was better at finding the Avatar than Zuko was."
So true, so true. Oh my god. But we were all drunk that night after watching Avatar, and we were like, "Yo, let's play some Minecraft." And I was like, "Let's do it." So we hopped online, and when we all started playing, they noticed, they were like, Raven 937. I was like, "Yeah, it's my old gamer tags. I've had it since I was in 5th grade." And they're like, "Oh, dude, you gotta change it. You gotta change it." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. Like this is me. Everyone knows me as Raven." And they're like, "Dude, you're pretty rad of a roommate. You're Rad Raven." And I was like,
There it is.
"Yeah, I am rad, huh?" And Xbox allowed one free gamertag change.
Yep.
And I never used it. And I was like, "Boys, it's free. I'm Rad Raven." And I changed it. And there you go. I am now Rad.
The rest is history.
I'm Rad Raven now. So everyone always wants to know, what is rad?
Raven.
Dude, there you go.
What is rad? Raven is rad.
Yeah. Everyone's like, what does rad stand for? Radiation, radioactive, radical. I'm like,
You know,
Rad.
when I first read it, ever since then, I always was just like, it's just rad.
Yeah.
It's just rad.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, everyone calls it either Rad or Rad Raven or Raven.
Rad Robin.
Rad Robin.
Rad Robin.
Dude, that'd have been funny. That's actually a
Instead
really
of
good
Red
one.
Robin.
All right, currently changing my gamer tag right now. That's a better one.
Rad Robin 937.
Dude, when we have our 1-year anniversary for this podcast, we actually bring up the whole question thing again, or the whole gamer tag thing again. Actually changed it, guys. Rad Robin.
That'd be really funny.
God, dude. I don't think I could do it.
Rad Robin. Yum.
That's probably why I don't think I could do it. But the whole lobby's
Too
literally just all
close to Red
yum.
Yep.
Every time I join into a COD lobby, everyone's just like yum, yum, yum. I'd be like, I want to die.
Yum.
This is
I
horrible.
love it.
This is
That'd
fucking
be
horrible.
fucking hilarious for like the first week though.
I know, but I think it'd be a really good conversation starter for any new person that you met online. They'd be like,
absolutely.
why the fuck? What is happening? Really good icebreaker for sure.
Yep.
Man, you know what? We have been having such a blast talking about, video games and Dark Souls and our gamer tag. It's crazy. We're already an hour in. I think we have maybe enough time for maybe like 1 or maybe 2 more topics. But I did want to talk about one thing that it's been on my mind for a while now, especially recently. It has come to the forefront of my mind. And on our topic list here, I have 2 different ones, but I think we can combine it into 2.
I think so too, yeah.
I wanted to talk about games journalism and review bombing on a lot of recent video games. I mean, you could talk about it in movies too. But specifically with gaming, I've noticed this, and especially with the most recent release of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I own that game, and I honestly I bought it because I watched other content creators play it.
Yeah.
It looked awesome. It looked like such a fun game.
You wanted to kill the heroes, guys.
I did. I actually hate Batman. I hate Superman. But the most frustrating thing for me, obviously, was that the Flash was too fast, and I couldn't aim at him. He's too fast.
Well, that's the point.
I know. IGN.
Stick a metal pipe out.
Fucking idiots.
Make him trip on it.
God, did you guys hear about that? That was literally IGN's reason why they gave it a low score.
Really?
I'm dead ass,
Wow.
dude. That literally the dude that reviewed, he did not get early access, which is probably part of the reason, and we'll get into it further. But IGN fucking hates Suicide Squad. They hate this game. And I'm
IGN
convinced
hates a lot of things. Let's be honest.
yeah, they're also stupid. They gave She-Hulk like a 10. They gave it a 9 out of 10. And they gave like a really good
for me, a 6 at best.
Yeah, no, it was like a 5 out of 10 for me. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either.
No,
But
it wasn't. It was very
time of day to play.
Yeah.
No, She-Hulk is the TV series.
Yeah,
so that-
the
Or
Marvel
watch, I mean.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, I didn't
yeah,
even
yeah.
give it
Yeah.
time of day to watch.
Yeah.
it was too comic booky for me.
Yeah, I kind of lost interest in the show when I saw She-Hulk twerk in that one episode.
With fucking Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion.
Never
I was
I might watch it now. I'm just kidding.
my friend's like, you know what?
I
There
will
was
say,
one
one-
aspect about this
but-
show that I loved. Which part?
Before we
I don't know.
jump back to our
Yeah.
our main topic at hand, I will say I really did like Moonlight. Moon Knight was really good.
Oh yeah, dude, Moon Knight was lit. I love that one. I can't wait for season 2.
It was honestly for me the best thing about it was just Oscar Isaac acting with himself. It was really fun to watch.
Yeah, it really was. He portrayed people that have a multiple personality disorder. It was really well portrayed.
Oh yeah.
He did a great job. Moon Knight season 2. Can't wait for it to come out. It's so good. But no, IGN, the guy that was reviewing it literally was saying that one of the first major boss fight that you have is with the Flash. You're gonna fight the Flash. And he said that it got to the point where it was so annoying that you couldn't aim at the Flash because you would see him for like 2 seconds and then he would run away. And he said the boss fight was too tedious because the Flash was too fast.
But like that's the whole point of the Flash.
I-
You got to find a way to slow him down.
Yeah. Yeah. And the ironic thing is he's playing as Captain Boomerang. I think that's his name in the comics.
Yeah,
or
Captain
Boomerang.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And-
Captain Boomerang, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't he the dude that literally goes off like he fights him the most? That's like the Flash's
I
biggest
believe so.
bad
Him and Gorilla Grodd and
Yeah.
Reverse Flash.
And
Those
in the
three
review
specifically are Flash villains.
Yeah, in the review, he was playing as Captain Boomerang, and he was like,
It's just
he
so
was too
funny.
fast. I was like, what the? Everyone is brain dead at IGN. It's crazy. All of the good people that work there, they left, and I'm like,
Because they knew how bad it was there.
God, man, it's so annoying. And the thing that pisses me off the most is that they're probably one of the most influential news outlets because it's the video game industry. There's not many. And
Yeah.
it's like, dude, oh my God. And like I said, the topic is games journalism and the hate with a lot of recent releases.
Dude, okay.
And review bombing.
Kotaku.
Okay.
So Nintendo is flat out refusing to give Kotaku early access to their games for review purposes
Okay.
because of everything that Kotaku has tried to do to Nintendo in the past. So when Metroid Dread came out, they were advocating for emulating it.
Kotaku was.
Kotaku was, yes.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, I know the whole
And then-
drama with that with Nintendo. They hate that.
And then like one of their next few articles is like them crying about how Nintendo's not giving them early access to their games. Yeah, no shit. Why do you think? Have you seen your other articles?
That's insane. I mean, I know that Nintendo, especially of all software companies, Nintendo is the one that hates people that emulate their games.
Which, I mean, I get, but
yeah,
like,
no,
at the same
100%.
time, they need to do a better job of game preservation.
Yeah,
But you know,
it's just crazy that like they wrote Kotaku literally, and mind you, I don't know anything about the whole Kotaku and Nintendo drama, but that what they wrote that they're mad that they could, or they said that they were willingly going to do it just to play a game.
something like that.
That is
what I
crazy.
because the article in question about Metroid Dread was like how good the game looked running at 60 FPS on emulators.
Oh, oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Hey, the balls on the people that over there on Kotaku though. Like that of all things, mad respect for the balls, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I could never.
But
I'd be scared.
my god, they're such idiots.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of video games, like Power World is one of them. Obviously Power World is super successful, but I've also seen the other end of the spectrum with people review bombing the game, mainly Pokemon stands. They really don't like that game.
Yeah.
Helldivers 2 is getting a bunch of hate. Like one of the
Really?
big Helldivers 2 is getting a lot of it is from like technical reasons behind it, at least with their PC port.
That's fine.
But
fine.
like
That's normal.
the number one thing that I've seen is that people are complaining that Helldivers 2 is literally just going to end up being like Power World because Power World was so big, and then all of a sudden now Helldivers 2 is big. The only thing that matters is longevity of the game. Like, is the game going to be good long term? It's like, dude.
Actually, funny you say that. The developers for Power World actually commented on the dropping number of concurrent players. They're like, yeah, that's normal. It's
Yeah.
called
I
people
was
are
wanting
taking a
to
break
mention
from the
that, too.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was actually really great because these people writing reviews were writing reviews already talking about how the game was becoming dead, how much they've lost on their percentage. And they're like, hey, we made this game. We appreciate the people that played it. We love the people that still play it. And we love the people that stopped playing it. It's okay to take a break, to play
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
games.
Hell,
It's okay to
they
do this and
advocated
that.
for people taking a break from it.
Yeah, and they were like, we love that you guys gave this game the time of day, and we appreciate you for that. This game obviously isn't where it needs to be yet. It still has work.
It's in early
We
access,
still have
too.
more we want to. Yeah, they were
Literally
like, we still want
0.01.
to add more stuff. They were like, we love that you guys played it and that you're content with where you are now. It would just be awesome for you to take your break, and then that way you're more ready for round 2 whenever we have more added to the game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think it was amazing that the devs did that.
The way I see
in
Power
response.
World going is the way of Minecraft, in that it's like slow but consistent updates to the game.
No, I think that would be great. I think the big thing for me is looking at it from a consumer's perspective, because like my big thing that like gaming is a huge aspect of my life, but one of the big things, I love the business side of gaming. And I was watching a short podcast on the topic of Helldivers 2, and a lot of big like reviewers comments about how like, oh, it's not going to be like Fortnite and the longevity of the game, and comparing Power World. Yeah, and the thing is with me, I agreed with what they said, and kind of adding on to what in this podcast, it's from Inside Games from Bruce Green and Lawrence Sontag, but they mentioned that they're like, yeah, it's a video game. Like, you're not meant to play the same thing for the rest of your life. And I was telling my friends about this. It's like, compare video games to like movies. You watch a good movie. Is that going to be the only movie you're going to watch for the rest of your life?
No,
Yeah.
of course not.
No, you're going to go to the movie the following week. Like, I go to the movies once a week to watch a new fucking movie. Like,
That's a lot of money.
I love movies.
That's a lot of money.
I'm a movie guy. I got a pass. I pay for a yearly pass. All right. I love movies, but you're not going to go to the movies, or you're not going to just go to the movies once and be like, this is my movie. I'm going to rewatch this movie every single day for the rest of my life. No, you're going to go see other movies later. And it's the same thing with video games. You're going to play a game, and you're going to play it whether you beat it or not. You're going to play it to the point where you feel that you got enough out of it. And you're going to move on to the next game. Like,
exactly.
You know, Helldivers 2 is the big one right now. In 2 weeks, I'm not saying everyone from Helldivers 2 is going to move on to play it, but there's going to be a small percentage of players that are going to move on from Helldivers, and they're going to go play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And they're going to play that game.
And chances are they'll come back to Helldivers 2 periodically.
Yeah, like the thing is though, there's gonna be more games that are gonna be coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that people that make money to write these articles have the audacity to say shit like that, it's like, what the fuck
It's
are you even
baffling.
talking about? Because the thing is, it's a trend that's been happening. A lot of people review bomb games, even if they haven't even
Mhm.
played it. They already count out games before they even give it a chance. Like Suicide Squad, perfect example.
Mhm.
And I will be honest, I was one of those people. I wasn't gonna play the game because I saw everything that was coming out about that game. I was like, this game is gonna be terrible. I've seen all the stuff that's already coming out. I'm not gonna play it. I watched someone play it. It looked good. So I bought it myself and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and I'm going to give it my opinion, not someone else's
Yeah.
opinion. I played it for about 3 hours and I'm going to come back to it soon. But dude, it's a fucking good game. And like, it's crazy.
Currently I have zero plans on getting the new Suicide Squad game. Just because like I don't like how they portray some of the heroes that you have to
Mhm.
fight. Like this is the same universe as the Arkham series.
Mhm.
This is the same universe. What the hell happened to Batman?
Yeah. And you know, it's crazy because they actually mention a lot of things about the Arkham universe in that game. Like they even ask questions, like Harley asks questions all the time. She's like, "What the okay." It's
Like cuz
crazy.
like I know the whole plot of it is like they're being controlled by Brainiac and all that. And
Mhm.
I'm like, that's fine, whatever. But like what happened with the portrayal of Batman here?
I will fill you in when I do beat the game. I will fill you in because I'm sure they'll
Because like I
talk
know
about it.
I know it's still Kevin Conroy, and that's fine. He that was because this was his last role as Batman, I believe,
No,
before he passed
apparently
away.
not.
No? Oh,
Apparently
he did
not.
other ones. Okay.
Yeah, there. If I'm not mistaken, I heard, and again, I don't know if the source is real, but from what I've heard, it's either an animated film or another
Oh, okay.
game. He came back to do one, like
Hmm.
he had just enough time to do one more thing. So, according to this source, and again, I don't know if it's true, so viewers don't quote me on it. Um, I from what I've heard, that was not his last.
Hmm.
So I'm not
All
sure,
right then.
but no, I mean, Suicide Squad is mainly just like the example, but like,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's really disheartening that there are, and I'm a huge advocate for a lot of the developers in the industry.
Mhm.
And Will and I talked about it in the last episode about job security within the industry recently with all the layoffs.
Oh, there's been more since then too.
Yeah, since
Like
that
a
episode
lot
too.
more. There was one company I read about on Twitter like not that long ago. They canceled 29 game projects and let go almost 2,000 people with through restructuring.
Restructuring.
Yeah,
Restructuring. Business lingo for we need to give our honchos more money. It's
exactly.
ridiculous. But like I don't know. It's just I think the main thing that I'm getting at here is that it just really bothers me that there are a lot of people out there now that they don't really take the time to play the game or to give any
Mhm.
game the benefit of the doubt and just play it for themselves. You don't have to like every game. I'm not saying you don't have to like it. But
Even like last year, even Tears of the Kingdom got hit by review bombing.
oh yeah, I remember that.
Like I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah,
Like
it's
it wasn't much of a drop. It only dropped from like a 9 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10 on some websites, but like
mhm.
but the impact of review bombing is still there.
It's huge. It's huge because
Oh
they're
yeah.
like from looking at it from like the basic consumer perspective, like you know your parents, your grandparents, the
Mhm.
ones that have the money to go and buy the games for their kids. They're gonna look at that and be like, "Oh, this game got an 8 out of 10. That game got a 9 out of 10. Oh, I'm gonna go get the game that has the 9 out of 10, right?" But it's like,
Yeah.
no, like
And
that game is good. It's just the people that wrote the article are fucking idiots. They're stupid.
yep. That so for me, like when I have kids eventually,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm gonna have a very discerning eye and all of that about games because I'm a gamer. I'm a
Yeah.
gamer for my whole life. I'll know what's good and what isn't before I get it for my kids.
Yeah. Now, Will, what are your
Even
thoughts
then,
on this whole thing? Oh, sorry to cut
even
you
then,
off,
most of
Weege.
no, it's all good. Most of what I'm gonna have my kids play is stuff that I already have anyways.
Yeah.
So
Obviously.
like I'm gonna gradually introduce them through how I grew up. So like N64 and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Will.
For
Yeah.
me, usually if I look at the concept, like what they want and what they want for the game, what they want for the story, the plot, whatever type of game I'm going for, I look at what they want for that. And if I think it's interesting enough and I have the money for it, I'll try it out. If otherwise, then I will listen to, instead of reading online made reviews or reviews of the game specifically, unless like usually I can read hate reviews on it and easily tell like, oh, that they're just
Bias.
having computer issues.
Yeah.
Like that's not
Yeah.
really the game's.
You have a potato
Like,
PC, brother.
sorry,
I get it. You know what I'm saying?
don't even have minimum spec. I am so sorry.
You played it on HDD, dog. That's you problem.
Yeah. But like,
I mean, don't
so
have an SSD. What is this?
yeah, so if I'm looking into it myself, like I'll go off of maybe a videoed review of it, but usually just I look at what they want for it
Yeah.
and I'm just like, all right, I'll give it a shot. If not, I will wait for friends or people that I know of that will that have attempted it and see what their thoughts are on the game, and I'm like, all
Yep.
right, I'll give it a try.
Same
Other
thing.
than that, I
Like
just
I didn't.
like
I
Suicide Squad.
I had
Sorry.
seen. Yeah. Sorry.
Suicide Squad. I don't have the money. I'm just not
Yeah.
gonna buy it. 'Cause I don't
Fair.
care to spend that money.
Yep. $70 game, so I get it.
Mhm. And yeah, for like Lethal Company, like I'd known about it for a bit, not long after its release. It wasn't until like December that I actually got around to actually buying it, and man, have I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I
Like
I got that
most of my
game.
playtime with it is modding, but you know.
Yeah, I got that game pretty early into its release, and I loved it. It was great, but
Mhm.
definitely a lot of people either got it immediately or they waited a couple months and then they got it. But it was still a good game either way.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody enjoyed it. The reviews were quite good on it most of the time.
Mhm. I think before we move on to because we do have to wrap it up, sadly.
Yes.
Before we move on to our last question, I just wanted to I don't know, just speak to the audience, the viewers watching at home, or watching from the comfort of your own seat or from the comfort of your toilet. I get it. I think the main thing that I think everyone can mutually agree, just inform your own opinion about anything, whether it be a video game, a book, a comic book, a movie, a TV show. If you've heard bad things about it, that's one thing. But if you really are like, oh, why the hell are people hating on this shit? Don't count it out before you actually watch it, because you never know. You might like it. Not everyone is going to like the same thing, and that's
Yep.
okay. Just play what you feel is going to be good for you and consume the product whichever way and how you feel is best for you. Just inform your own opinion. Don't form your opinion from someone else's opinion. So
Like, I remember when I first heard about Dark Souls and all that, I'm like, good lord, this is not a game for me. But and then because like I'd also had watched somebody play Dark Souls 3, specifically fighting the Nameless King, one of the hardest bosses in the game. I'm like, good lord, how are you able to avoid those attacks so easily? And then I play it myself, and I'm like, I get it.
Yep.
I get it now.
Yep.
I see the appeal.
So before we wrap up episode 3 of Content Overload, Ouija, we ask all of our guests at the end of every episode of Content Overload, we like to ask them a question that's kind of based on our theme of, I guess, season 1 or whatever, or year 1 of the show. But our theme this year is social media. and how it can either affect society or content creation in a positive or negative way. So I want to ask you each, do you feel that social media is good or bad for society or for content creation, whichever you feel is best to provide your answer for?
I see social media as something of a tool
Mhm.
where the thing itself is neither good nor bad, it's how it's used.
Okay.
Right now, the way I see it, especially with Twitter, with that whole hellscape, uh, it's definitely leaning towards bad right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's too easy for people to spread hate, to influence people, to sway opinions. It's too easy for the wrong people to be using it for their own nefarious means. That is where I stand on social media. That being said, there's a lot of really good aspects to social media. For instance, without it, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't
Sure.
be in this call talking to you guys about anything because I wouldn't have known about what the hell Twitch is, because Twitch is at the end of the day, Twitch is a form of social media.
That's true. It is.
Discord is social
Yeah.
media.
Discord is social
Discord
media.
is also
yeah.
social media. You're correct. Without proper use of social media, I would not be nearly as outgoing or upbeat as I currently am. Because Discord is how I met Becca, the love of my life.
Yeah,
So-
dude, that's awesome. That's a really good answer. Good answer. It's like Family Feud. Like, good answer. Good answer. Yeah. There it is.
There it is.
It's not even my soundboard.
Yeah,
Our co-host
it's
is coming in
mine.
clutch, dude. Let's fucking go. But no, and again, all viewers, that's Ouija's opinion. You might disagree, and that's okay. That's why we talk about things like this, for us to discuss things that might make us feel uncomfortable, for for you to kind of just digest it and see if you agree or disagree, and maybe learn something from it. Because I think, Ouija, from my point of view, I think your answer was incredible. I didn't think about it from that perspective, and it's definitely something that I kind of want to sit with for the next 3 weeks with my pipe in hand and my book and contemplating things about life. No, it's a great answer, man.
Fair. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to, unfortunately, I really want to talk more, honestly. I really enjoyed our conversations this week for this episode, but that is unfortunately going to wrap up episode 3 of Content Overload. Again, Ouija, thank you so much for joining us on episode 3. Greatly appreciate you joining in. It was a pleasure to have you, and excellent conversations all around. And hopefully we'll have you again here soon.
I'd love to come back. I know Becca talked about possibly coming on here with me at some point. So.
Yeah, I would love to have her. There's a lot of people on my list that I want to get on the show. There's a lot of people. So, hopefully schedules work right. Maybe we can work something out. But for those of you watching at home, if you enjoyed our conversations, my socials, WillWill's socials, and Ouija's socials, including his Twitch, is also going to be linked below in the description. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification, all that weird cringe stuff that YouTubers say. But
destroy
them. Destroy it. To make it, click it so much to where it's gone.
Subscribe button.
But thank
it's
you.
always so funny when they go insanely over the top with those.
I know, dude. It's great. And they add fire explosions at the end there. But regardless, thank you so much for watching episode 3 of Content Overload. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time for episode 4 of Content Overload. So again, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Later, everybody. Bye.
See ya.